What's up, geeks and gamers? It's Jeremy coming to you with another video, and today we are talking about the disaster known as Disney Star Wars. And I'm not breaking any news here to tell you that Disney Star Wars is not in a good place. I mean, we've all kind of known this since The Rise of Skywalker, and even before then with The Last Jedi. But The Rise of Skywalker was the moment where it was obvious that something really bad was happening and had been happening at Lucasfilm. And seems like Disney agreed with us because they haven't released a movie since then. Now, obviously, they've had their ups and downs since then. The Mandalorian Season 1 and Season 2 were very successful. They've had their moments, but generally speaking, you have seen a diminishing returns. People are losing interest in Star Wars because Disney has ruined it. And now we have this, which is really embarrassing for Disney. Masters of the Universe trailer crushes Star Wars, 20 million plus views, beats Mandalorian and Grogu after 4 months. That is crazy. Now, I did a reaction to the Masters of the Universe trailer, and I liked it. I did. I didn't love it, but I liked it. I thought there was enough good in it, and it worked. I overall, not having very high expectations going into that trailer, watching it, I walked away going, I want to see this movie. And the numbers that it has provided, really good numbers. Now, it is kind of tough to get a true gauge on numbers these days because you have so many different social media platforms with Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and Instagram. You have all of these places, so it is hard to key in, but ultimately, if you're going to have big views on Instagram, you're going to have big views on YouTube. If you're going to have big views on YouTube, you're going to have big views on Twitter. That's just kind of how it works. So it's all kind of relative to the comparison that you're making. The fact that Masters of the Universe has done this to Disney Star Wars, and this is the first movie that they are coming out with since Rise of Skywalker, and they got this embarrassed, that's a pretty big deal right here. So Alex over on geeksandgamers.com, there's been a lot to talk about with trailer ratios lately, most among superhero movies, but an unexpected one came about this week. The Masters of the Universe trailer has doubled the number of views compared to that of the next Star Wars movie, The Mandalorian and Grogu. Ex-user by the name of Aldo called attention to the discrepancy yesterday, shared screenshots of the two trailers, and I can go ahead and show you. So right here, Masters of the Universe trailer has 23 million. Let me go ahead and lights there. 23 million views in just a few days, versus 84,000 upvotes to 13,000 downvotes. So that is very, very impressive to say the least. Now you go to Mandalorian and Grogu, 10 million views 4 months ago, and a much worse ratio. Significantly worse ratio compared to Masters of the Universe. In what world do we live in where Masters of the Universe, a He-Man movie, is more relevant than a Star Wars movie? In the world of Disney Star Wars, that's where. Now, this doesn't guarantee that Masters of the Universe is going to be better. It doesn't guarantee it's going to be more successful, but it is interesting to see that. And for more comparison, this is interesting because Masters of the Universe actually did really well. The Steve Rogers Doomsday trailer did 18 million views a month ago. Now, I know that one went viral everywhere, but 18 million, that's a lot of views, don't get me wrong. But the fact that Masters of the Universe has 23, almost 24 million views in a couple of days. Now, there's been several Doomsday trailers. So you've got the Wakanda one that's got 11 million views. The X-Men Will Return, 16 million views. So you've got a lot of those trailers, but 13 million views. Oh, that's Wonder Man, 13 million views. So you've got some interesting stuff there, but none of them broke 20 million views. Now, the only other trailer that we have to compare is The Odyssey. And The Odyssey blows them all out of the water at 39 million views after a month, and a great ratio. But, that's a Christopher Nolan movie. We're talking about, more property-based like Star Wars, Marvel, Masters of the Universe. And Masters of the Universe crushing The Mandalorian and Grogu. This is very embarrassing for Disney Star Wars, and they've had a lot of embarrassments over the years. It's noteworthy that the Amazon MGM Studios YouTube account that hosts the Masters of the Universe trailer has 1.69 million subscribers, fewer than the Critical Drinker, while the Star Wars YouTube channel that hosts this trailer for Mandalorian and Grogu has 4.25 million subscribers. More than twice as many people were notified about the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer, yet half as many watched as did Masters of the Universe. This speaks volumes about the state of the Star Wars brand at the height of its popularity, which is certainly not right now. Masters of the Universe was nowhere near as popular as Star Wars, one of the most beloved entertainment properties of all time. Star Wars is also currently under the stewardship of Disney, the premier studio in Hollywood, has billions behind it, and consistently been in the spotlight for the last decade, while Masters of the Universe, despite the occasional attempt to make a revival, is essentially a relic of the 80s. It's also fair to note that The Mandalorian and Grogu is based on the Disney Plus show, which a limited number of people have access to and whose ratings have declined over the years. But it also features Baby Yoda, the most marketable Star Wars creation since Disney took over the brand. That is very true. And the declining ratings that are matched by dwindling box office of the Star Wars sequel trilogy, as noted by Forbes. Masters of the Universe trailer getting more views than the trailer for Mandalorian and Grogu, though surprising, is not so much an anomaly as it is an indication that Star Wars is significantly less popular than it used to be. And here he goes on to talk about the other trailers, some of them that I brought up. The Captain America Thor trailers have 18 million views. X-Men 16. Shuri Thing trailer has 10 million, the same number as Mandalorian and Grogu. The Supergirl trailer with 23 million has more views than Masters of the Universe, but not by much. That is pretty interesting, dude. I think it's because overall the Masters of the Universe trailer, it just came off as fun and you were interested after you saw it. Now, again, is there problems with it? There's a couple of issues for sure, but it just doesn't feel like they're beating you over the head with the message. I know the pronoun thing came up, yada, yada, whatever. I addressed that. I think it's a joke, and we'll see how it is in the movie, but it seems like a very self-aware joke, which I appreciate. Some people thought, oh, this feels like Thor. And I'm like, look, man, He-Man was a very popular brand in the 80s. I don't know how many people are aware of it these days, but other than memes. But yeah, the trailer just had a lot of kind of discussion points, and I think it left a lot of people interested more than anything. So I don't know. You guys let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think this says more about Masters of the Universe or more about the state of Star Wars? I think that is a very interesting discussion. I think that I don't know if I can answer that honestly now that I've asked that question, because I think it says a lot about Masters of the Universe, but the spotlight is probably how bad of shape that Disney Star Wars is in, because The Mandalorian and Grogu, or Mandalorian seasons 1 and 2, was a mega popular franchise. After the Book of Boba Fett, after season 3, and everything else that they've done, it's pretty relevant. Now, I don't think that Mandalorian is going to bomb at the box office, but I have no idea if it can. I don't think it can hit $1 billion, and I wouldn't be surprised if it only did $500 million. I really don't know what The Mandalorian is going to do. I feel like Masters of the Universe will probably have a decent opening weekend, and then word of mouth will be the key. Did it, entertain people? Are people walking out of that talking? And that's going to have a lot to do with the box office for that. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Have a great day, and we will talk to you later.